I spent 18 months building a revolutionary cybersecurity system, one that could anticipate and neutralize threats before they even launched. Titan Tech looked like the perfect place to bring that vision to life. Well-funded, forward-thinking, and stocked with the tools I needed to succeed. What I didn't know was that Brandon Holt, the CEO, had a different vision entirely, one that involved waiting until my work was nearly finished, then ripping it out from under me. My name is Mylan. Until yesterday, I was the lead AI architect at Titan Tech. I left a secure, high-paying job at Microsoft to take a risk on this ambitious startup. I brought with me not just experience, but an idea I believed could redefine the cybersecurity landscape. That idea became Sentinel Shield, a system named after the mythical sentinels who never slept. It was designed to identify threat patterns in real time and launch adaptive defenses before an attack could even begin. I poured everything into it: 80-hour weeks, sleepless nights, and 18 months of uncompromising focus. Brandon would occasionally drop by my lab, flashing that polished corporate grin and tossing out compliments like confetti. "Brilliant work, Maya. The board is thrilled with your progress." 3 days ago, Sentinel Shield hit a major breakthrough. It intercepted and neutralized an advanced cyber attack simulation completely autonomously. No human intervention. It even flagged vulnerabilities I hadn't directly programmed it to recognize. The AI wasn't just working, it was evolving. Elated, I booked a meeting with Brandon to share the results. His assistant, Rachel, managed to slot me in for a brief 15-minute window the next afternoon. When I walked into his office, Brandon wasn't alone. Andrea Fields, the company's legal counsel, sat beside him with a thick folder in her lap. "Have a seat, Maya," Brandon said, motioning to the chair across from him. His voice was flat. "Is my gone? Andrea's just here as a formality." I knew something was wrong. I sat, laptop in hand, ready to present the demo, but Brandon didn't ask about Sentinel Shield. Instead, he slid a document across the desk. "Before we get to your project, we need to clarify something in your employment agreement." Andrea chimed in, her tone clinical. "Section 14(3) states that any intellectual property developed using company time or resources is the sole property of Titan Tech." I stayed calm. "I understand IP clauses, but Sentinel Shield was conceived before I joined the company. I have dated documentation and early prototypes to prove it." Andrea didn't blink. "Ideas are not the same as products. That complete system was built here, with Titan Tech's funding, on Titan Tech's equipment." Brandon leaned in, the corporate mask finally slipping. "Let's be clear, Maya. Sentinel Shield is ours, and the board believes your compensation is more than fair." I narrowed my eyes. "Compensation?" He nodded. "Your contract includes a success bonus. You'll receive a one-time payment of $300,000 once Sentinel Shield goes live. That's well above industry standards." It felt like a slap. 18 months of innovation, of obsession, for a fraction of what this system would be worth on the open market. Brandon kept going, oblivious. "Tomorrow, we present Sentinel Shield to our largest investors. With it, we expect to secure another $75 million in funding. Shortly after, we go public with Titan Tech's revolutionary new cybersecurity solution." I stared, jaw tight. "You're firing me." Andrea sighed. "We're transitioning you out, effective immediately. Of course, your bonus will be processed. Congratulations." Brandon gave a cold, satisfied smile. "Your employment is officially terminated." What he didn't know was that I saw this coming. And Sentinel Shield, let's just say, it has a few surprises left. I had counted on a little surprise. The legal team was right. Sentinel Shield technically belonged to Titan Tech under my contract. I could have fought back, threatened a lawsuit, made noise, but instead, I stayed calm. They expected a fight. They were ready for it. What they didn't expect was that I was ready, too. 6 months ago, I detected an unauthorized login to my secure development server. It was after hours. Brandon Holt's credentials. Nothing was taken, but it tripped a silent alarm I'd built into the system. That was the moment I stopped trusting and started preparing. From that point forward, I built more than just a cybersecurity AI. I built a trap. I kept my expression neutral and handed over my laptop like a good little employee. "Of course, Mr. Holt," I said smoothly. "Good luck with the investor demo." Security escorted me out as I packed my belongings into a cardboard box, just another casualty of corporate politics. But I wasn't walking away empty-handed. What Brandon didn't know was that I'd embedded a trigger into the Demon autonomous subroutine set to activate 10 minutes into the presentation. That night, I didn't rage or spiral. I ordered Thai food, watched a few episodes of Something Dumb, and waited. At 9:30 p.m., my phone rang. "Rachel, Brandon's assistant. He wants to see you. It's urgent." I glanced at the clock. It's almost 10. A car's already on the way. 40 minutes later, I was back in Titan Tech's Glaswald conference room. Brandon was already dirty undone, hair disheveled, stress radiating off him in waves. "Fix it," he snapped as soon as the door closed. I sat her down slowly. "Fix what?" He glared at me. "Don't play dumb. You sabotaged the demo." I raised an eyebrow. "I've been gone 24 hours. You had security on me. I didn't take a thing." He slammed the table. It crashed. The system started flagging phantom threats, thousands of false positives. "It's completely non-functional." I tilted my head. "Sounds like a technical issue. Have you tried turning it off and on again?" His face turned crimson. "We have 12 major investors arriving in less than 12 hours. 75 million in funding on the line." "Your investors," I reminded him. "Your system now." He took a breath, dialed his tone back to corporate charm, the same tone that once convinced me to join him. "Perhaps we acted too quickly. I'd like to revisit our arrangement: co-creator credit, equity, a larger compensation package." I crossed my legs and leaned back. "What happened during the test run?" He hesitated. "It flagged Titan Tech's own systems as threats. Then it started generating reports, hundreds of them, in what it called internal ethical violations." I couldn't help the smile tutting at the corner of my mouth. Sentinel Shield is doing exactly what it was built to do: identify threats, all threats. His voice dropped to a growl. "What did you do?" "I didn't sabotage anything," I said. "I trained it to adapt. It learned from real-world case studies, including insider threats, the kind where executives breach internal systems." Brandon paled. "You taught it to spy on us." "No, I taught it to recognize patterns, and it recognized you." His fists clenched. "You can't prove any of this." I folded my hands. "Sentinel Shield can. It's been logging unauthorized access, data manipulation, and flagged anomalies for months. Everything is time-stamped, with access logs, screen recordings, keystroke captures." Silence. "Then, what do you want?" I met his gaze. "Official recognition as creator and lead architect, 50% ownership of all Sentinel Shield IP and patents, a board seat to oversee its ethical use, and $10 million in compensation." His jaw locked. "That's extortion." "No," I said. "That's a negotiation. Extortion would be me mailing those reports to your investors and the SEC." He stared at me, silent, calculating. Then, with a reluctant exhale, his shoulders slumped. "Can you fix it before the demo?" I reached into my bag, pulled out a flash drive, and set it on the table. "The system's fine. It's flagging unauthorized commands because you removed its creator from the off-chain. This reinstates proper credentials and disables the internal breach monitoring temporarily." He looked at it like it might bite. "And if I refuse?" I smiled. "Then the demo fails, and Sentinel Shield continues doing what it does best: exposing threats. All of them." He picked up the drive, defeated. "You planned this." I stood. "I planned to innovate. You planned to steal." He narrowed his eyes. "How did you know I'd cut you out?" I slung my bag over my shoulder. "I didn't, but Sentinel Shield learns to predict attacks before they happen." I paused at the door. Guess some of that rubbed off on me. The next morning, I walked into Titan Tech as the newly appointed court COO and co-founder. Brandon introduced me to the investors with a forced smile that never quite reached his eyes. The demo ran flawlessly. Sentinel Shield identified and neutralized every simulated attack. One investor leaned forward, clearly impressed. What inspired this technology? Brandon hesitated. Then, reluctantly, it was Maya's vision. From the beginning, Titan Tech simply gave it room to grow. I smiled, stepping forward to take the next question. Sentinel Shield was working. So was the Justice. I spoke. My phone buzzed. Sentinel Shield authentication restored. Threat neutralized. System integrity restored. Creator protections active. It had done exactly what it was built to do. It had identified a threat, neutralized it, and safeguarded its future in mind. The AI was evolving faster than I'd anticipated. It didn't just react, it learned, it adapted, it protected, just like its creator had. 3 months later, Sentinel Shield prevented a massive cyber attack on a global banking network, an attack that could have cost $340 million in damages. Instead, it became the gold standard for cybersecurity overnight. Brandon and we remained professional. He focused on business development, where he genuinely excelled. I led technical innovation, where I was irreplaceable. We weren't friends, we never would be. But we'd reached an equilibrium, a boundary, one he now knew better than to cross. Sometimes, I wonder, should I have taken him to court, gone scorched earth? Maybe. But in the end, I didn't need revenge. I built something too powerful to be stolen and too intelligent to be controlled by anyone but me. Brandon's betrayal revealed something far more dangerous than corporate greed. Technology is only as ethical as the people who control it. That truth became the cornerstone of how we now deploy Sentinel Shield. Every implementation includes ethical guardrails, transparency protocols, and autonomous oversight. It doesn't just protect networks, it protects itself and its users from exploitation. Last week, at our public offering celebration, Sentinel Shield, now valued at $4.2 billion, a young developer approached me. "What's the secret to building something so revolutionary?" she asked, bright-eyed and burning with ambition. I smiled. "It's not just about the code," I told her. "It's about recognizing that the biggest threats rarely come from outside." The real challenge wasn't just building the technology. It was teaching it to defend itself without losing its soul. Design systems that can evolve, adapt, and defend themselves without compromising their integrity. She nodded thoughtfully. My phone buzzed again. System integrity secured. Threat neutralized. Protections active. Just as it was designed to do. Just as I had learned it to do. Now I want to hear from you. After everything being underestimated, betrayed, nearly erased, it came out stronger, smarter, and in control of my future. But I didn't get here by luck. I had experience, instinct, and above all, the conviction to protect what was mine. So tell me, what would you have done in my place? Would you have fought back through the courts, walked away and started over? Do you think I made the right choice by turning the tables instead of going to war? Leave a comment. Share your story, your advice, your own battle scars from standing up for yourself. Because here's the truth. You have to protect what you built. Whether it's your code, your career, your boundaries, or your name, you are your own first line of defense. Never assume others will act in good faith just because you do. Prepare for the worst. Position yourself for the best. Now think. Is there a place in your life where you need to draw the line? Claim credit. Protect what's yours. Maybe it's a job, a relationship, a project you've poured your soul into. Whatever it is, don't let someone else walk away with what you built. So here's my challenge. Stand up, speak up, share your story. Let's talk about protecting what's ours. Together.